Hello, my name is Emerald Artist, and this is Planning for Effective Communication. Now, communication is an essential part of any organization. All organizations, higher education or otherwise, tend to have missions and or goals that the group is striving to achieve. And it is essential that our communications match up with these and that we are ensuring cohesion of our departments, groups, organizations, teams in order to successfully achieve these goals. In higher education, our primary goal is student success, student learning and student success. So we have to be on the same page to be consistent in how we are reaching students, how they are reaching us, and how we are ensuring or striving for their success on our campus, careers, and lives in order to meet our mission statement. My primary goal of communicating effectively is understanding technology. This transition into the COVID pandemic and our online-only settings has been a great difficulty because these were new platforms for everyone and no one knew how to use them. This goes for their advantages as well as the disadvantages that need working around. For example, we use Microsoft Teams on my campus for all faculty and staff communications. However, when it comes to organizations and students, we reach out via Blackboard Collaborate, and within that, Blackboard Collaborate Ultra for our courses. I do foresee online communications being our primary form of communication between faculty, staff, and other team members and students for years to come, even after we overcome the COVID pandemic. So it is essential to understand this and understand how to navigate the difficulties that come with this. Luckily, working in management of my department, supplemental instruction, I have been trained to always assume that my staff has no idea how to use the technology that I'm asking them to do, but to also be considerate that this assumption can be viewed as condescending if not handled carefully. As such, one of my primary best practices for effective communication with faculty, other team members, even students sometimes, is to always include links or documentation on how to use the technology that I am asking them to use. This has become a standardized part of any email or digital communication from our management team when communicating with faculty, staff, and students. This is so that everyone has access to the instructions without feeling singled out. We once had a presentation from our Student Accessibility Resources Department, which helps students with documented needs get accommodations in their courses. And they spoke on how if everyone has access to accommodations without having to ask for them, then no one feels disadvantaged, no one feels singled out, and students are much more likely to use them effectively. Another difficulty that comes with communication in higher education is scheduling. We tend to have very large campuses and spread faculty and staff schedules out in order to accommodate student needs during various hours. I know on my campus, specifically with Tarrant County College, our courses on campus tend to be anywhere from 7 or 8 a.m. to 10, 11 p.m. every semester. So scheduling is always an issue. People are not always available at the same time. People are often not on campus at all at the same time, and may even be on other campuses or entirely different colleges, high schools, other work settings. So they're not available. This is a scheduling issue that is hard to overcome. Really, all we can do is try to communicate effectively, even if it is asynchronous, and keep logs of every communication to refer back to. Now, with this, and with any form of communication, disagreements come up, and they sometimes need de-escalation. I usually see two reasons for this. First, it's because Our online communications often don't have facial features, so our words are much harsher than they seem. And I have to remind my staff of this very often. We offer, currently online only, supplemental courses that support historically difficult college courses. This tends to be U.S. history, all of the sciences, many of the maths, languages, you name it, we've covered it at some point. And they often don't use their camera or even have a camera. And knowing them, I can see in my mind's eye their faces and how they are meaning to express themselves. But with it being only voice or written communication, it doesn't always come across, and the faculty, staff, or students that they are speaking to or that we are speaking to misinterpret. So in order to de-escalate this, I always recommend that we put this out in the open at the beginning. This is a known issue. If you feel that this is being interpreted in a harsh way, please feel free to reach out. I likely don't mean it that way, or if I do, this gives me a chance to take a step back and reassess, and then we can move forward from there, usually trying to figure out how can I not make you feel this way in the future so that we can focus on the content of our conversations rather than the feelings. I really do feel like the key to effective communication is communicating our needs and expectations. Luckily, the second reason I usually see a need for de-escalation with faculty and staff is because of passion. We are here for student success. We want the best for our students, and oftentimes we think that we know the way to do it. And this can cause people to butt heads, especially when we're discussing trying to make all of the faculty of a department be on the same page with what they cover and how they cover it. It can not work always. I feel like the best thing to do with this is usually to take a step back. My idea or your idea is likely not life or death for their success. What is typically life or death for student success is going to be a need for consistency. If a student or faculty or staff member approaches one department in X way, they expect to be able to do it the same way with, the math department or the history department. It is essential that people know how to communicate with each other so that communications are not ignored and they feel heard. Thank you so much.